breaking news energy in Detroit tonight, and I'm not using those words lightly. While most people are still arguing about highlights and fantasy points, I've been listening closely to what's moving behind the scenes, connecting pieces that a lot of people haven't noticed yet. And the picture that starts to form goes straight to the heart of who these Lions are right now, how much they really want to protect Jared Goff, and how seriously they treat this moment as a real window to chase something big. Welcome back to Lions News Fan Report. I'm here with you like always, one of you, bringing real updates, credible rumors, and honest context on our team, cutting through the noise and talking straight, the same way you talk at work, at the bar, at the tailgate when the subject is Detroit football. Tonight, I'm going to walk you through why one specific move, involving a veteran with playoff mileage, leadership, and trench credibility, might be the quiet adjustment that separates a team that hopes everything goes right from a team that refuses to leave anything to chance. Stick with me until the end, because this story starts in Tennessee, runs through numbers, cap logic, Titans turmoil, and the physical identity Dan Campbell built here, and only in the final stretch lands in Detroit with the question that really matters. Who do you trust to put his body on the line for this offense when the season is on the line? As the trade deadline gets closer and franchises are forced to look in the mirror, one pattern always appears. Struggling teams with short-term veterans become natural targets, while serious contenders look for precise pieces, not fireworks. The Tennessee Titans are in that complicated spot, living a season full of frustration, changes, and open rebuilding, the kind of environment where front offices start listening. On the other side, the Detroit Lions are living the opposite reality. Expectations high, identity clear, and a roster good enough to dream, but honest enough to know that depth on the offensive line is not a luxury, it's survival. If there is one unit you don't play with when you want to be standing in January, it's the interior offensive line. It doesn't sell jerseys like a star receiver, it doesn't dominate headlines like a splashy edge rusher, but it's what turns 2nd and 9 into 3rd and manageable, what gives Goff the extra beat to hit his playmakers, what keeps the entire playbook alive when defenses decide to bring heat. Now picture this with me. You have a team like Tennessee holding a veteran guard who is still solid, technical, reliable, with a full career of tape showing he can anchor against power, recognize pressure looks, survive in hostile environments, and command respect in the locker room. He's on a short, manageable deal, playing for a team that clearly might listen if the right offer appears. On the other side, you have Detroit with an aggressive mindset, a front office that already proved it isn't afraid to go get the right personality, a culture fully built around a dominant offensive line, a violent run game, and serious protection standards. That connection isn't fantasy talk. It's the kind of logic real contenders use when they see an opening and refuse to wait for something to break before they act. And that's why the name that starts to surface with more and more sense inside this context is Kevin Zeitler, a veteran who has seen everything, who went through heavy pass rush divisions, who has been a key piece in strong units, who carries a reputation of professionalism, discipline, clean technique, and zero drama. Zeitler fits exactly the type of player Dan Campbell's message points to from day one: tough, consistent, prepared, team first. In Tennessee, he is still stacking dependable snaps, proving he can hold up physically and mentally. In Detroit, he would walk into something bigger, a locker room with a clear purpose, a line that already has tone setters, and a real opportunity to push for meaningful football late in the season. This is not about creating some fake super team. It's about putting one more steel beam into a structure that already sustains your entire identity. Before I say anything stronger, I need to be crystal clear with you. Face to face. I'm not here to sell you a done deal that doesn't exist. There is no hidden announcement, no "it's official" waiting backstage. What we have right now is a realistic intersection of 3 elements. A Titans team that logically could listen on valuable veterans. A Lions team that cannot afford to be light at guard if they're serious about a deep run. And a player profile in Zeitler that brings immediate impact without wrecking the long-term build. When you line that up with Detroit's recent track record of smart, locker room-friendly system-fit additions, it becomes a conversation you have to take seriously. Not as cheap hype, but as a legitimate market scenario that respeita o momento do time e a inteligência da torcida. On the field, Zeitler still gives you exactly what you want next to a strong center and high-level tackles. He anchors against bull rush, doesn't give up depth easily, plays with strong independent hands, keeps his base firm, and has the veteran awareness to pass off stunts, pick up late blitzers, and communicate adjustments pre- and post-snap. In pass protection, that translates directly into what decides big game. Those extra tenths of a second that mean everything for a rhythm passer like Goff. In the run game, even if he's no longer in his mid-20s, he understands angles, leverage, combo blocks, and how to create just enough displacement for this physical backfield to punish defenses for 4 quarters. In an offense that prides itself on owning the trenches, bringing in a guard with that toolkit is a message to the whole roster. We're tightening the bolts, not hoping they hold. Financially, this is exactly the kind of target that fits a controlled all-in. Short-term, manageable number, clear role, no need to blow up future drafts. For Tennessee, moving a veteran in a tough year can mean picks and flexibility. For Detroit, it would mean turning a current strength into a definitive edge, building insurance against injuries and fatigue before they appear instead of panicking after they appear. That's grown-up roster building from a franchise that finally ags as contender and not merely as a sympathetic sidekick. And this is where I look at you, Lions fan watching this, and I talk straight. How do you feel about a move like that? Are you comfortable rolling with only what is already in the building, or do you see the value in adding one more proven professional to protect everything this offense represents right now? Because from my seat, watching this team mature, studying situations, contracts, and how thin the line is between hosting a playoff game and watching it from home, putting Kevin Zeitler into this conversation isn't overreaction, it's common sense. If the front office truly believes this is a real window, then reinforcing the interior with a plug-and-play veteran who fits the attitude of this locker room is exactly the type of decision that separates franchises that enjoy the moment from franchises that try to control it. In practical terms, Zeitler landing in Detroit would mean 3 immediate things. First, technical security, because you add someone who won't crumble when defenses throw exotic looks, crowd noise, and pressure packages. Second, quiet leadership, that everyday standard that offensive linemen respect. Third, a clear statement to the rest of the league that Detroit is done being just a nice storyline and is fully committed to protecting its quarterback the way serious organizations do when they're hunting for championships. That's why this idea, this potential line drawn from Nashville to Detroit, deserves to stay on your radar. Before I close, I want you in this with me. Jump into the comments and tell me honestly if you'd like to see Kevin Zeitler trading Titans blue for Lions blue to thicken that wall in front of Goff. Is this the kind of smart, surgical move that matches where the Lions are right now? Or would you rather keep that capital for another position you believe is more urgent? Put your take down there, because this channel exists to connect inside information, serious analysis, and the emotion of a fan base that Código Este team knows Pioris Anos and is finally allowed to believe in something bigger. My view is simple and directa. If the price stays reasonable and the tape, health, and fit all check out inside Allen Park, exploring Kevin Zeitler as a target is exactly the kind of mature, no-nonsense decision that separates teams that are just invited to the postseason conversation from teams that quietly build themselves to decide it. If you value this kind of straight, detailed, and passionate breakdown made for Lions fans and not for empty noise, stay with me. Subscribe to Lions News Fan Report. Turn on notifications. Share this video with that friend who loves talking trenches and understands how guard play decides seasons. And keep riding with us, because every move that can push Detroit one step closer to something historic, you're going to hear it here, first, face to face, with the respect and urgency this moment of Detroit Lions football deserves.